all stand for the pledge to the flag. One on the left hand down there. Attention, salute, ready. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice, and all. Thank you. Good to have everybody here today, and hope you're not hungry. If you are, it's your own fault. And I've done a good job in us all. And now we've got a good speaker this afternoon. But first, we have a word from Kathy Williams. She has an announcement and so forth.
I'm the Vice Chairman of the Bemis Historical Society, and first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to Joel and Brenda for everything that they've done today, because they've worked so hard and all of the volunteers. We do have our meetings almost every month, the third Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and we have a website, bemishistory.org. You can look on there to see when our meetings are scheduled. And also look to find the website. We have some videos from our meetings on YouTube. So if you go to our website, there is a page that tells you about the monthly meetings, and you'll find the links to take you to those videos. So like there are videos that tell you all about the museum, going through the tunnel, and all different things about it, and just all the programs that we've been doing the last couple of years. So we're videoing the program today, so we'll have it posted later. But I want to introduce you to Jerry Elston. Jerry graduated Southside 1967, the year before me, and he's here to make a presentation. Jerry Elston.
You all will make note that she wanted you to know that I'm older. I was lucky enough to marry into a family. My wife was the niece and the only girl in that family of Mary Kathryn Crowley. All of you remember Keith and Mary Kathryn from the skating ring days, from their sons, Mike and Ronnie, who some might call Bosco, but you never want to call him that in front of her. She passed away a year ago Monday, 22nd of May, and I told somebody earlier we were talking, she did some great things. She had great love for Bemis. You couldn't talking to her, she might not remember what she had for breakfast, but she could tell you all about Bemis and how good it was, what a great place to raise children, and the great times that she had. And just a couple of little short stories. She was going through her storage house out back. My best friend since high school, still today, Bill Kennedy shared with me that she found a box full of uniforms, the old Bemis baseball team and her roster. She got those uniforms together and made sure that each of the players, Milton has got his uniform with his number, courtesy of his brother, and got it in a shadow box down in his son's house. When when she did pass away and got ready to sell the house, it was sold to a member of the Richardson family. So the house stayed within Bemis. We had an estate sale, which would have never happened had Lynn and Sarah Hall not shown up. Lynn to haul off the garbage, Sandra, Colonel, drill instructor, looking for a place for a job. She's looking for a job. But got all that Well, we figured that about 85% of the stuff we sold that day out of her estate sale went to somebody associated with or from Bemis. My pal, Nancy Randall Newman, brought a whole bunch of it because she's refurbishing the clinic. It was. We found stuff that we didn't know what it was, but between Sandra and Glenn and Dave Catholic, we were able to identify a lot. But all of that to tell you this, her two great loves, the Bemis United Methodist Church and the Bemis Historical Society. So today, in memory of Keith, Mary Kathryn, Mike, and Ronnie, the estate of Mary Kathryn Crowley would like to present the Bemis Historical Society this check for $10,000. Never pass up a check. And just one other quick note, she made the same donation and the same amount to the Bemis United Methodist Church.
Yeah, Mary Kathryn was the first secretary of the Historical Society, and she had a friend, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he was a banker, and she said, let's put some money in his bank. And so she went in with me and opened the account. He said, that's good. He said, I'd like to put a couple thousand in there myself. And so he did. I went back later and I said, you don't involve me. You didn't ever live with Bemis. I said, why don't you give us $2,000? He said, for Mary Kathryn. So she had a lot of friends. And he put $2,000 in for her into our bank account at the very beginning. And she served for, I don't know how many years she served, but she served 2 or 3 rounds. Today we're going to skip over. What did I do? I call it the plug. I'm thinking here, making it a little louder. Today we've got a South Jackson guy who used to hate Bemis, and he's going to be our speaker today. He'll explain it all. Tommy Dean, Coach Tommy Dean.
Well, I didn't hate Bemis until we got on the baseball field or the basketball court. People ask me where I graduated from, and I told them that I graduated from the University of Beach Bluff. So, but I probably spent more time in Bemis than I did at my own home. I was close friends with a lot of people, and I wish I had a penny for every time I circled the Bemis skating rink. Look forward every weekend going skating. But today I want to talk to you about, and this, I got this out of my scrapbook that my mother, my 93-year-old mother, put together, and I don't know why she labeled it what she did, but she named it the Bemis Boys. The Bemis Boys. And, you know, for years, and as I go through this presentation, I'm not a speaker by any means, but you're going to hear me call some people's names that's probably going to ring a bell with you. Because they were so instrumental in the success of summer baseball in Madison County. You know, for years, we had baseball teams, just little community teams. Bemis always had a team. Madison Hall, Tommy Sadler reminded me of Madison Hall. Bemis used to play over behind the Y. And Madison Hall played at Norris Park, which is, I remember it had an arch that you went through right there behind St. Louis to go down to that park. And we had Lester's Chapel. And then later on, I think the last place that we had a field of their own was Melissa's, and Tomorrow Lord was instrumental in that. But in 1964, the Bemis boys and the rest of us that played summer baseball hit the big time. Because for the very first time, a Madison County team went to the Dixie World Series. Now folks, we thought we'd come to the big league. Going from playing on the little fields that we played on and going to some huge park where we played in front of over 1,000 people was something that still brings chills to me when I think about it. But the first World Series that we went to was in Kilgore, Texas. And I can remember, one thing that I remember about Texas was, first of all, when you went into this little town, Kilgore, it had a big, huge sign that said Oil Capital USA. And every house, it seemed like, had a little well going in the backyard. Doing this, fucking over. Now, they probably didn't get it. We got very little, very often, not very often, but that was something I remember, and the guys that went with me, and I'll mention them here in just a second, but I hope they remember the taste of the water. It was the worst tasting water you could ever drink. It was just like salt. And yet, who would have thought, that was in 1964, who would have thought 20 or 30 years later, people would become millionaires by selling bottled water. So, but in our team that went to Kilgore, Texas, was made up of mainly Bemis boys, Bemis players. And some of those guys are here today. If you were on the team that went to Kilgore, you stand up. Okay. Now, the next year, we played in the state tournament in Covington, Tennessee. We played a team from Cleveland, Tennessee that was very, very good. And I never will forget Gray Tosh. That was George's son. You never remember George Tosh. Gray hit a home run in the first inning. And he pitched. And at the end of 7 innings, we beat Cleveland 1-0. And so we were headed to our second World Series in Meridian, Mississippi. Now, this is where it gets crazy and funny. When we left the Bemis Y headed to Meridian, Mississippi, there was about 6 or 8 of us that rode to Meridian, Mississippi in the back of a pickup truck. Now, we get down there. Opening ceremonies, there's probably 2,500 people there. They're not there so much to watch us. But Dizzy Dean, how many of you remember Dizzy Dean? Hall of Fame pitcher for the Cardinals. Dizzy Dean, he was over as a heel by this time, but he was a Hall of Fame pitcher for the Cardinals, and he was the master of ceremonies that night. So, anybody remember what he used to sing? Wabash Cannonball. He always sang the Wabash Cannonball. He sang it that night. Well, when they started introducing the teams, they had Tennessee lined up at the first base gate. And they always had these cute little girls that carried the state flag, and they would introduce all the teams one by one. Well, when we went through that gate, we got about halfway on the field, and the announcer said, fans, said, let's give these boys from Tennessee a big hand. So they rode all the way down here to the back of the pickup truck. We started pulling our caps down over our eyes. And I know all of you remember the story about Peter, how he denied Jesus 3 times in the garden. Well, for the next 3 days, we'd have people come up and say, you Tennessee? No, we're Texas. We're about time. We never let on that we were boys from Tennessee. But those were 2 years that I always remember. And anybody remember Bill Shackford? Bill Shackford? Bill Shackford could go get the pole. If someone here told him to go get the pole and bring it here, he would pull the string and get the pole and come here. Well, the next day after we played that first night, they come to my room and said, they want you downstairs. And so I go down there, and there's Bill Shackford with Dizzy Dean. Dizzy drove a black Cadillac. And Bill just wanted me to meet Dizzy Dean, and I never will forget shaking hands with him. And he said, partner, we may be kin somehow. I had his autograph for years until it was rotted in my billfold. I didn't realize what I had, but that was a treat too. Now, when we were in Reading, Mississippi, for many years, still may be true, we had the record for the longest game. We got beat by the home team, and we played like 14 or 15 innings. Seemed like we played all night. But that was something there was something else to remember from that trip. Now, 2 or 3 things that I titled these just things that I remember. The other day, Kathy, through Joel, gave me a clipping, I guess, from an old newspaper, and it said Bemis defeats Beach Bluff. Well, I almost backed out of coming today because I was the losing pitcher in that game. Travis Harper was the winning pitcher like he was most games. And I was thinking, she could have put something in there where I wasn't the loser. But anyhow, it said that Bemis defeated Beach Bluff 6-3. Travis Harper was the winning pitcher. He struck out, gave up 3 hits, and struck out 12. Then it said that Ronnie Dean was the losing pitcher, but it said that he had a double and a single, which meant I had 2 of the 3 hits off of Travis that day. So when I read that, I thought, Travis must have had a bad day for me to get 2 hits off of him. Because most people didn't hit. Travis was probably one of the best pitchers at that time around here. Larry Bales was my catcher. When I pitched, I played shortstop and pitched, and he was my catcher. And over the years, we kind of got reunited. But, once baseball was over with, graduation was over with, people go different directions. Anybody remember Shorty Bales? Shorty Bales? Shorty loved baseball. And I never will forget, we were going to the district tournament in Brownsville, Tennessee. And again, the back of the pickup truck was loaded. When we get over to about where Union is, and all of a sudden smoke starts boiling out of Shorty's truck. It's not the engine. Shorty had a wood bed on that truck, and there were so many people in there that they were sitting down on the exhaust. So we had to pull in Union and get buckets of water and throw on that wood bed in that pickup truck before we could keep going. Roy Saskey was a wonderful coach and a great person. He always gave it all he had. And I was thinking about this the other day. I wouldn't say it was David McNabb, but when we came back from Kilgore, Texas, Roy had a station wagon. And it was about 3 o'clock in the morning that he pulled into a place that had coffee. And he was going to go in and get him some coffee. And while he was in there, again, I'm gonna say David, because I'm pretty sure he was. David, okay, get some head shit. David climbs out of the station wagon and goes, I believe it's a drugstore across the street, goes in there, and Royce comes out and leaves. Now, we didn't have cell phones back then, so while Royce is on the way to Bemis, David's folks are on the way to Memphis to pick him up. So, and one thing I really forgot about that article that you were so kind to send the other day, something that's very unique about that. It also said in that article that Billy Pfeiffer, I don't know if any of you remember Billy, at least for many years, it said Billy Pfeiffer did a 3-run homer in the first inning. Well, here's what happened. Richard Beardsley was a leadoff hitter. He batted left-handed. He hit a blooper over the third baseman's head. David McNabb was the second batter. He hits a blooper over the first baseman's head. So I've thrown 2 pitches and had 2 hits. Now, some of these guys tell you I had a pretty good temper back in those days. And so I got a little mad. And not bragging, but I can throw pretty hard. Not sorry to brag, but I can throw pretty hard. So I bragged back and I was determined that I was going to make a play. And I bragged back and throw one as hard as I could. And Billy Pfeiffer hit it over one of those 2-story houses over there behind the white. I don't know if they ever even found the ball. So I threw 3 pitches. I'm glad it wasn't in that article. I threw 3 pitches, and it's 3-0. So, but you know, I know the guys that agree with me. They say, Bill, were you going to kill the wolf? No. You didn't agree. You wouldn't agree. And but those were 2 years that you know, it's a wonder we didn't get killed riding in the back of that pickup truck. But I just remember there was a couple of girls rode in the back of that pickup truck with us. And by the time we got down there, they were just cooked. They were blistered so bad. But those were days that, you know, as we get up, we think back, Larry and I have, we reminisced a lot of times about those days. And I'm going to leave you with this. This is something that Dizzy Dean told at the opening ceremonies. And he said back in those days, in fact, that was the first year that the Houston National opened up. All covered roof, astroturf field. Dizzy Dean, and he titled this statement, "Everybody sees things different." Everybody sees things different. And he related it to the Astrodome. He said when he was playing, they played on Sunday afternoon, and somebody would have to miss church and go over and run the cows off the field so they could play ball that afternoon on the field. And he said we have special ground rules that you didn't have to run exactly straight between the bases. You could zigzag to miss the cow pile. So one day they were playing their cross-county rival, and they played all afternoon, and nobody scored. And it got very late in the afternoon. And the umpire told the catcher, "It's getting dark. We're going to play one more inning. That's it." So, of course, Diz was going to be the hero of this event. He said he got on base and he stole second. He always said he slid into second. He stole third and slid into third. And then he eventually scored the run that put him ahead 1-0. And he said he would give out. When he went back to the mound to pitch, they loaded the bases on him. Had 2 outs. And the bully of the county came up. He said the meanest dude in the county. He said, I ran back and threw one, and he said he hit it about 400 feet, barely 5. And he said, I wound up and I threw one I thought was a little hard. He said he hit it even further, barely 5. So the catcher calls timeout, comes out, and he said, the umpire says he can't see the ball. He said, he can't see the ball. He said, here's what we're going to do. He said, you put that ball in your shirt, and you look in and you get a signal, and you go in your wind up and just act like you throw the ball and let me handle the rest of it. So Diaz had a real high leg kick when he pitched. So he wound up, raised his left leg, he comes down, and that catcher hit his head like that. And the umpire said, strike three, you out. Well, we all laughed just like y'all did just then. And he said, wait a minute. Remember, I said people see things a different way. He said that bully at the county turned and threw his bat up against the backstop, and he said, you blind SOB, that ball was a foot outside. So everybody sees things different. But I appreciate you letting me share a few things with you. And it's a great organization here. And it's good to see this good crowd. Thank you.
I can't improve on that. So I guess we just all dismiss and go home. If you want to help clean up, go outside. Bye.